For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. The Zone of Silence in Mexico, a mysterious phenomenon. The Zone of Silence is a small desert region in Mexico, located at the intersection of three states, Chihuahua, Durango, and Coahuila. The first report of unexplained anomalies in the area came from pilot Francisco Sarabia in the 1930s. While flying over the region, all of his instruments, including his radio, suddenly stopped working. In the 1970s, attention returned to the Zone of Silence when an American rocket launched from the White Sands. Missile range inexplicably veered off course and crashed in the area. The Mexican government allowed the U.S. Air Force to investigate the crash site. Researchers then discovered that no signals, radio or satellite, could pass through the zone. This bizarre phenomenon was attributed to a magnetic field anomaly that created a dark zone, which is how the area got its name. Since then, the area has been studied in more detail. The Mexican government even built a research facility there, supposedly to study local life forms. However, speculation persists that more is being studied than officially acknowledged, and the anomalies don't stop there. One of the strange characteristics of the zone is the high concentration of magnetite and uranium. According to scientists, these elements generate electromagnetic pulses that block signal transmission. For unknown reasons, the Zone of Silence also attracts an unusually high number of meteorites. Locals have reported strange lights, UFOs, and alien beings for decades. Some believe the zone serves as a portal between worlds. Farmers have told stories of mysterious figures appearing out of nowhere. These beings always claimed they came from above. Many stories describe the same three blonde entities. There are also reports of flying saucers that burned the ground where they landed. Interestingly, the Zone of Silence lies on the same geographic parallel as the Egyptian pyramids and the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists from the Mexican Research Institute have called the area the Sea of Theta, as it was once the seed millions of years ago. What does all this mean? Can the anomalies ever be fully explained? Official institutions remain silent about the possible extraterrestrial presence in the zone, but it seems unlikely that all witnesses are lying or imagining things. If there's truly a magnetic anomaly in the area, it should be studied to determine its full reach. Could the Zone of Silence have similarities to the Bermuda Triangle? And why do such anomalous zones exist on Earth? Zones whose nature even governments don't seem eager to understand. The Kalahari UFO incident, Operation Silver Ball. Very little is known about this incident, which is not surprising given that it occurred over the Kalahari Desert in Africa. The operation to capture and study the crashed UFO was codenamed Silver Ball and classified as top secret. Still, Some of the confidential information eventually surfaced. On May 7, 1989 at 1:40 p.m., the South African Navy frigate Essa Tafelberg reported spotting an unidentified object on radar moving at over 5,000 nautical miles per hour toward the coastline. 2 Mirage fighter jets were dispatched to intercept, led by Squadron Commander Goosen. At 1:50 p.m., the object entered South African airspace. Commander Goosen reported that the object made a sharp maneuver beyond the capability of their jets, but contact was maintained. Then came the ground order: shoot it down. At 1:59 p.m., the Mirages fired, hitting the target. The object wobbled, began descending rapidly, and crashed into the Kalahari Desert, about 80 km north of the Botswana border. About a month later, a man named Dr. Azadedela contacted a British UFO organization claiming to have information on the crash and was willing to take a lie detector test. He named James Van Greenen as someone involved in the investigation alongside American officials. Shortly afterward, Van Gruenen himself arrived and handed over a copy of a top-secret document on South African Air Force letterhead. It described the incident in detail under the codename Silver Ball. According to the document, a team of Air Force officers and ufologists discovered a silver disk 18 meters in diameter, 8.5 meters high, and weighing around 50 tons. It had embedded itself at a sharp angle into the sand, creating a crater 150 meters wide and 12 meters deep. The surrounding sand and rocks were melted, likely due to intense heat. The team's instruments malfunctioned, likely due to strong magnetic and radioactive emissions at the site. They noted the disk had no visible seams and featured 12 elliptical portholes around its perimeter. The material was unknown and later tested at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in the U.S., where it was found to be made of magnesium with a unique crystalline structure not found on Earth. Van Greenen stated the object had been transported to a South African air base, and the crater was filled with sand and rocks to avoid attracting attention. The most astonishing part came when a screeching sound was heard from the disk and a crack appeared. 2 humanoid beings about 1.5 meters tall emerged. They wore tight, silvery suits and had bluish skin, no hair, large eyes without pupils, and webbed hands with sharp claws. They didn't speak, but observers believed they were communicating telepathically. The aliens showed aggression, hissing and spreading their clawed fingers when approached. One appeared injured. Due to the unfamiliar atmosphere, both weakened over time and were eventually transported by helicopter to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. On closer inspection of the disk, investigators found a retractable landing strut and a marking of an upward-pointing arrow. As a helicopter arrived to collect the beings, its engine failed and crashed, killing all 5 crew members. All involved signed secrecy agreements. However, Van Greenen chose to speak out, believing silence would be a betrayal of all humanity. In Russia, the incident became known thanks to a 1990 article in Komsomolskaya Pravda. Some South African officers confirmed the story and showed photos of the crash site. Even Commander Goosen confirmed the event. But the story ended tragically. Van Grienen returned to South Africa and was executed on February 27, 1990, for revealing classified information.